be talking about embracing the dips of energy, the dips around you, the dips inside of you, meaning like sometimes things suck. Sometimes the situation just isn't what you want it to be, but I want to talk to you today about embracing that energy and utilizing it for your greatest and highest good and finding ways to transmute so that you can turn it into something that looks a little bit different, a learning point, if you will. Leading your light isn't about high vibe all the time. No, absolutely not. It's about embracing the good with the bad, not avoiding it. Leading your light does not mean you stick your head in the clouds, put on some linen pants or some harem pants, and sing kumbaya all day long and avoid the 3D realities that you actually have to face at some point. It's not what it's about. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Shawnee and this is Infinite Light. But leading your light is a segment that I do to help teach you how to remember who in the heck you are. I am your spiritual guide and cheerleader. I want you to remember that you deserve more for your light, for your life. All right, and today we're talking about embracing the dips. Sometimes shit sucks. Sometimes something that happens triggers you and it brings you back to a state that you thought that you might have healed from. Sometimes the environment around you and society is going through an uproar, a negative energy. I want to try to challenge you in today's reading, because we're going to do some cards, some tarot cards towards the end. I want to try to challenge you and work with the higher level energies around you and around me for our greatest and highest good, to try to figure out how to ground yourself when you notice that the energy within you is dipping or the energy around you is dipping. All right. So remember, this is not about avoidance. This is about like really stepping into the shadow whenever you feel it creeping up on you and noticing what's going on, trying to interact with the patterns, trying to transmute those patterns. Transmuting it means when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. That is essentially what today's lesson is all about. The way to do that is to be able to notice and then manage your own energy. I took notes. I come prepared, guys. So the first step here is whenever you're noticing that your energy is taking a dip, or you feel like your morals are about to take a dip, or you feel like there's something that's going to set you back, you're not feeling good, your energy is off, the energy is off around you, the first thing I want is awareness. You've got to be able to get to a point in your own personhood, in your character, in your behavior, that you're able to really take a look at, holy crap, something is happening, something is off. And then you start really being able to assess, is it me? Is it something else outside of me? And in either situation, whether it's you or something else outside of you, I want you to be able to get to a point where you can manage your emotions, emotional regulation. And you can do that by stopping and feeling the emotion and then transmuting it. Let's say you're angry about something. Once you take a look at that anger, you force something to happen in your brain. You go from your conscious mind being to now actually interacting with your subconscious mind and asking your conscious mind, wait, why am I angry? Who is this serving? Is this helping? And it usually only takes, and that's why people say count down from 10, because it brings awareness. It usually only takes 10 seconds for you to be like, whoa, wait a minute. I am over responding to energy that is not mine, or I'm carrying energy that I do not wish to continue to carry. You bring awareness to it, and then you figure out a way to regulate it. breathing exercises, counting exercises, removing yourself from the room, turning off the TV, saying, hey, excuse me, right now is not a good time. I need to get off of the phone, so on and so forth, okay? And then you do a perspective shift. You give yourself a minute. I don't choose this energy. This energy is not working for me. How can I shift it? I choose to be in the energy of motivation to get out of this. I choose to be in the energy of love to love myself if I'm not receiving love from somebody else. I choose to change this. Just again, by you having that conversation, either outward or inwardly, it shifts the brain and it allows your higher self to come in and help take care of you in those moments, okay? Okay, so, and then another way to change your perspective is you could say, what is this teaching me? Is there a pattern? Let's say it's every month at the same time of the month. I get that this is going to be a triggering sort of thing, all right? But let's just say every month at the same time of the month, you're without the funds that you want to have at that point in the month, right? Every month at the same time of the month. So then it's like, okay, so what is this cycle teaching me? Is there something that I can do at the beginning of the month to ensure I don't get to this point at the end of the month? Are there behaviors that I can change? Or are there expectations from my family members that we can discuss before we get to the end of the month so that nobody is shocked if and when it happens, so that we can respond differently to this cycle? And then once we respond differently, eventually the energy shifts so that things can change. There has to be a change in order for the energy to change. The change has to start with you. So that's perspective shift. And then the fourth thing that I want you to really start looking at whenever there's a dip in your energy and you're embracing it, the fourth thing is what you intend to do. I intend to rebuild from here, wherever this is at, even either internally or externally, on the things that I have control over. And I'm going to take assertive action to move out of this. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. I don't know, like here, I can give you the most basic example, and it is, every time you watch the news, for example, if you keep the news on in the background and it becomes distracting for you, and every day maybe you don't even realize it's the fact that you have the news on all day in the background. You're trying to do your work and the news is on, or you're trying to eat your lunch and you're around a whole bunch of people that are gossiping and gossiping and gossiping, and you don't understand why by the afternoon you're just so angry and agitated, and your shoulders are up and you're just clenching your fist and clenching your teeth and snappy at people. Once you've gone through the steps of awareness, emotional regulation, perspective shift, the fourth thing is I intend to rebuild out of this, and I'm going to take assertive action to get out of this. So that means turning off the TV and putting on something positive, or putting on positive sounding and frequency music, or it means eating your lunch at the park or outside versus the lunchroom at work, so that you can separate yourself with the naysayers and the gossipers and the low vibe people, so that by the time you get back to your desk for the afternoon part, for the latter part of your day, you're not as drained of your energy. Whatever it might be for you, those are just some examples. There's intentionality that has to happen in order for things to change. You've got to change something in your behavior or your actions in order to see change in your environment. I'm going to ask Spirit what we need to be concentrating on when we are not being avoidant is not earlier I was talking about like turning off the news or staying away from the people like in your environment that are bringing you down. And I was talking about like not being avoidant, but it's really more like the avoidance is not doing anything about it, because there's always something that you can do about how you respond to a situation. Whether or not the situation is, you have the ability to change the situation itself. There's always something you can do about how you respond to a situation that will help change your reality within the situation. Avoidance in those particular situations would be doing nothing. We are about assertive and intentional action here on leading your light. All right, let's see. Spirit, thank you so much for bringing me here. Thank you for your love, your direction, and most of all, your protection. Allow me to deliver a clear and concise message to those watching. Should anything negative come up, immediately return it to sender. I don't want it on me. I don't want it in my household, and I don't want it on the viewer. All right. So what is something that we need to be paying attention to, maybe that we don't realize is happening within us or outside of us? 3 of Swords. Some of you guys in this collective are having a hard time embracing the dip, if you will, in your heart space after a huge loss. 3 of Swords. I'm sorry that this is triggering, but I asked a question and Spirit delivered the truth. The 3 of Swords. This is loss. This is heartache. This is pain. See, the thing about loss and heartache and pain and fear and anguish and shame is that they take time to heal. But it's not, the saying is time heals all. It's what you do in that time to help you heal from it. Again, if you're avoiding what actually happened, if you're avoiding the awareness of it, if you're avoiding the emotional regulation of it, if you're avoiding the perspective shift of it, if you're avoiding taking action to change how you respond to it, or if you're going to respond to it, then it festers. It doesn't go away just because you're not addressing it. And that's not what people mean when they say forgive it, forgive it. Forgiving it does not mean ignoring it, ignoring that it ever happened. Forgiving it means to give it space initially, intentionally look at it, evaluate it, process it, apply a different perspective to it. What lesson was this trying to teach me? What lesson might this have been trying to teach the other person or other people involved? Understanding that that might have been a lesson for you even in the first place. And then saying, you know what? But I'm going to choose for this thing or these things not to have power over me anymore. Some people say, well, I'm going to put up a boundary with these folks. Okay, that's fine. Do it. Block them. Don't go to the family gatherings. Don't interact with them. That's fine. But there was a lesson there that the universe was trying to teach you, that God was trying to teach you. So all of the universe is asking you to do is to acknowledge that, to look at that, and then release it out of your energy. Because you can't just block somebody because they're an asshole and then expect that you're going to be okay, because one day you're going to be standing at your kitchen sink washing your dishes, and you're going to find yourself having either replaying the same argument or arguments over and over again in your brain, or coming up with new arguments, or shaming yourself for not saying this or that or this or that whenever you were around this person. And it's because there's things that need to be processed. Do not avoid analyzing the 3 of Swords. Now, that comes, there's a two-sided coin there, right? So like, you guys heard of analysis paralysis, Remember, the steps are awareness, emotional regulation, perspective shift, and then assertive action towards something different in your energy, right? Transmuting it. So the ask is not for you to just be boggled down by the pain of the past. The ask is for you to give space to it. And if today isn't a day that you have the bandwidth to carry it or to look at it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is you have, then you can say, you know what, not today. But we were just talking about consistency yesterday. You are going to need to eventually go back in it and give it some space. That's why it says time heals all. Nobody says it takes 30 days to heal all. Sometimes it takes years to heal from a situation. But it could take even longer if you are not giving it time to process within your head, within your heart, and your body. The longer and longer you ignore these heartaches and these pains, the more and more your body has shadow within it, stored energy within it, toxic energy within it that it yearns to let go of. And this is why, and I'm not a doctor, but energetically, this could be why you have chronic pain, migraines, sleepless nights, irritability, mood shifts, weight gain, holding on to weight loss, eating disorders, mood disorders, irregularity with, certain cycles within your life, swelling, pain in certain areas, all of that. So really give yourself the grace, give yourself the time. Healing is not linear, but healing does demand your attention, all right? Okay, so that's what Spirit wanted you to take a look at. Even when you can't see your light, guys, even when you can't see your light, it is still there. I'm going to do a journal prompt for you all, and then we're going to let you go, okay? So in this energy of embracing the dip, I want you to remember a time in your journal, or as you're thinking today, I want you to remember and write down a time that your energy had dipped and you responded erroneously. Like your the energy around you and your household dipped and you lost your freaking mind. You start yelling at everybody, I'm the only one that cleans up around here. And whatever the situation might be, whatever the situation, it could be the last time you were with those naysayers at the office and you found yourself getting pulled into it. And then now you're a part of the problem, meaning you're putting fuel on the fire. Like, yeah, I couldn't stand when this person did that and this person did that. And you're a part of the gossiping and a part of the negative energy. Maybe that's a journal prompt for you. I want you to remember a time that there was a dip in energy and you fell into that dip. And then write that down. Now I want you to remember a time where there was a dip in the energy, either within you or outside of you, and you embraced it and transmuted it. Like you woke up super moody, super aggravated, maybe not feeling well. And instead of going and doing this whole long list of things that you needed to do, you gave yourself grace and you went back and you laid down for a couple of hours. Or a time where you just were not feeling good. You ate a whole bunch of sugar the night before, had been smoking the night before, had been drinking the night before, and you just did not feel good. So you decided then and there, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to eat as healthy as I can. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to cut it down. Because it's just not serving me. I'm acknowledging that it's affecting me, so it's just not serving me. So you made a change. Or you and somebody are fighting and arguing, and it becomes elevated. And you say, you know what? I think right now is not a good time. I'm going to go collect myself, and we can talk about this another time. My nose just started running, like as I was talking about this. So there's a release of energy that needs to happen within this collective, and it's yearning to come out of the stored parts in your life. The reason why I want you to take a look at, the reason why I want you to take a look at these journal prompts is I want you to see when there was a time that you acted out. And I want you to remember that there have been times when you didn't. So whenever you're going through this and you're like, yeah, but I can't do that. I have this and that diagnosis, or I have this issue with my personality, or this characteristic, or these behaviors that I always display. The word is not always. There have been times when you chose different. I want you to remember that time. So whenever a new dip in energy shows up, you can say, I've embraced it before, I've transmuted it before, I can do it again. All right, guys. I hope that helped. Thank you so much for joining me on this Leading Your Light segment. I will continue to post, but don't forget to take a look at the rest of the content I have on my page, because I like to have fun too. All right. I love you guys. Do not forget to lead your own light and life. See you guys soon. Bye.